Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's story didn't just trend, it detonated across social media like a spark hitting gasoline. Because out of nowhere, one name resurfaced online and instantly split the entire fanbase in two: Lil Tim. Within minutes, timelines filled with arguments, old clips resurfaced, rumor pages jumped in for their own angle, and fans began dragging each other into heated debates nobody saw coming. It started with a single comparison made in a random post, but the reaction was so intense that the conversation turned into a full digital war zone. People weren't just commenting, they were calling each other out, stitching videos, posting threads, and bringing up old emotions that had been quiet for months. Some fans said the comparison wasn't fair. Others claimed it was long overdue. A few insisted it was an intentional drama created to stir the internet. And the craziest part? Even people who weren't part of the original discussion started jumping in, adding their own opinions, theories, and emotional takes. Suddenly, Lil Tim's name wasn't just trending, it had become the center of one of the loudest fan clashes of the week. Emotions ran high, defenses rose fast, and the timeline didn't calm down for hours. And what triggered it? That's where this story begins. The moment Lil Tim's name resurfaced online, everything shifted instantly. There was no warning, no build-up, no slow trend climbing to the top. It was sudden, like someone flipped a switch on the entire hip-hop side of social media. 1 minute, the timeline was full of random posts about new music drops and celebrity gossip. And the next minute, comment sections were overflowing with heated arguments, reactions, and people dragging each other over a comparison nobody even agreed on. It all started from a single post made by a mid-sized fan page. The post wasn't dramatic by itself. It simply mentioned Lil Tim in a comparison conversation that was already happening about another trending topic. But the way social media works, one name can change the entire mood. And that's exactly what happened. The comment section didn't just heat up, it exploded. Within seconds, hundreds of people jumped in, each one trying to correct, argue, defend, criticize, or completely shut down the comparison. And because everyone reacted emotionally instead of calmly, the discussion took a life of its own. Some users were confused, asking why Lil Tim's name even came up in that conversation. Others said the comparison wasn't fair. A few even claimed people were intentionally trying to start drama by dragging old topics back to the surface. And then there were people who believed the comparison made sense, and they were ready to defend their reasoning with entire essays in the comments. Before anyone realized what was happening, the argument expanded across multiple platforms. On Twitter, people turned the discussion into threads. Some wrote long breakdowns explaining the context, while others replied with sarcasm and emotional reactions. TikTok creators started stitching the original clip, using dramatic captions like, "Here we go again," and "Why is the internet like this?" Instagram fan pages reposted screenshots of the debate, adding their own commentary to make it more dramatic. And on Facebook, older fans started arguing like it was a family reunion gone wrong. What made everything even more chaotic was the fact that nobody fully agreed on what the comparison even meant. Some thought it was about personality. Some thought it was about reputation. Some believed it was about loyalty. And a few said it was about how different fan bases react whenever Lil Tim's name enters a conversation. The confusion became the fuel for the fire. Because when the internet can't agree on the meaning of something, they argue louder. Within an hour, rumor pages jumped in. They started posting captions like "Fans clash over Lil Tim discussions," and "The online debate gets heated." Of course, these pages didn't offer any real explanation. They just amplified emotions. That's what makes the drama spread. Because once a rumor page posts something, it gives the debate a sense of official news, even if it's just fans yelling at each other in the comments. Then came the next twist. Someone posted an old interview clip of Lil Tim, completely unrelated to the topic, but added a caption saying, "This aged differently now." The clip caught fire instantly. People used it to justify their arguments. Some used it to calm the situation. Others used it to start new debates entirely. Even though the clip had nothing to do with the current drama, it became part of the narrative simply because it included his name. People on social media love connecting dots, even when the dots don't belong on the same page. And just like that, the debate didn't stay a simple comparison talk. It evolved into an emotional war zone. People brought up old feelings, old arguments, and old fandom conflicts. Some accused others of being biased. Some claimed people were doing too much. A few fans openly admitted they were tired of seeing Lil Tim's name dragged into every conversation whenever the internet gets bored. That exhaustion turned into frustration. And frustration always turns into drama. A TikTok creator posted a video saying, "Every time something trending happens, y'all find a way to involve Lil Tim for no reason." That video hit millions of views within hours. In the comments, some people agreed while others fired back saying the creator was missing the point. That single video sparked another wave of debate, this time about whether people were unfairly using Lil Tim's name as a reaction tool. The situation snowballed from there. Some fans created emotional posts expressing how tired they were of the internet dragging names into conversations that had nothing to do with them. A few people defended the comparison, saying it was harmless. Others insisted it was messy and unnecessary. And rumor pages continued to throw gasoline on the fire with captions like, "Fans divided over Lil Tim discussion again," and "Same topic, new arguments." Meanwhile, Twitter got even louder. Anonymous accounts posted dramatic statements like, "People really exposing themselves today," and "The internet never lets anything go." One account claimed that the comparison was intentionally posted by a specific fanbase to provoke reactions. Another account responded saying that theory was ridiculous. The back and forth turned into a group argument that lasted hours. But the biggest twist came when someone claimed they had inside information. They posted, "Y'all don't even know the real reason people are arguing." No explanation. No details. Just that sentence. And that was enough to start another round of chaos. People started speculating what the real reason could be. Some assumed it was related to old fandom tensions. Others assumed someone behind the scenes must have said something. And a few even believed the entire argument was staged to go viral. The rumor didn't come with proof. It didn't need to. The internet doesn't wait for confirmation to start arguing. As the conversations got hotter, more creators joined in. Some posted calm videos trying to explain everything step by step. Others posted angry reactions, calling out people for starting unnecessary drama. And some creators, especially those doing commentary in the style of Say Cheese TV or Candidly Cassie, turned the entire situation into entertainment. They made dramatic breakdowns, emotional summaries, and reaction videos filled with suspenseful narration. And the craziest part? People watched them. Millions watched them. Suddenly, Lil Tim wasn't just part of a random comparison. He was the focus of a massive online discussion. Fans brought up opinions they had been holding on to for years. Others used the debate as an excuse to bring up unrelated topics. And because everyone was speaking at once, nobody could tell where the drama ended and where exaggeration began. Some fans said the internet was blowing things out of proportion. Others said the argument was justified. A few even said this debate exposed how emotional the online hip-hop community really is. And through all of this, Lil Tim himself said nothing publicly. His silence added even more mystery to the situation. People interpreted it in different ways. Some said he didn't care. Others said he was staying out of the negativity. Some even assumed he hadn't seen the argument at all. But the internet doesn't need answers. It only needs confusion. And just when the arguments were at their peak, an unexpected twist hit the timeline. One that suddenly elevated the conversation from a simple debate to a full-blown online storm. And that's exactly where part 2 begins, because the twist that hit the timeline next didn't come from a fan page, a rumor account, or even a commentary creator. It came from a completely unexpected source. A random user with almost no followers who somehow managed to ignite the entire conversation all over again. The user wrote a simple line under one of the viral posts. "If y'all knew the real connection behind these comparisons, you'd understand everything." That one sentence acted like a grenade. Within minutes, people began replying, asking what they meant. Some demanded proof. Others begged for details. And as usual, instead of answering, the user disappeared. No explanations. No follow-up. But the damage was already done. The comment itself spread faster than the original discussion, because people love mystery more than clarity. Screenshots of the comment appeared everywhere, each one captioned differently depending on who reposted it. Some captions read, "What is this supposed to mean?" Others said, "This person knows something." And drama pages jumped in with their signature exaggeration, posting things like, "Someone claims deeper meaning behind Lil Tim comparison." Suddenly, the argument wasn't just about whether the comparison made sense. Now people were debating whether the comparison even came from a regular fan or whether something behind the scenes had triggered it. TikTok creators made long breakdown videos saying things like, "I'm not saying it's true, but the timing is suspicious." Twitter threads analyzed the wording of the mysterious comment like it was a coded message. And then more creators jumped in saying, "This is how unnecessary drama starts," which ironically made the drama even bigger. The next twist came when someone posted an old archived screenshot from months ago showing a similar comparison that fans had debated before. The screenshot wasn't new, but fans behaved like it was a newly discovered artifact. They used it as evidence that this conversation always comes back around, which made the debate feel deeper and more emotional than it actually was. As more people dug through old posts, someone found a TikTok that mentioned Lil Tim in a totally different context. Again, unrelated to the current drama, but that didn't matter. The TikTok suddenly went viral because people connected it to the current situation. New comments flooded the creator's page saying, "This hits different now, and so this wasn't random." The creator themselves had no idea why their old video was blowing up again until someone DM'd them. Then they posted a reaction video explaining, "I don't know why y'all brought this back, but here we are," which only made things spiral even more. Someone clipped that reaction, added dramatic captions, and posted it to Instagram. Minutes later, rumor pages reshared it with, "Creator responds after Lil Tim comparison resurfaces." Meanwhile, fans began dividing into groups more aggressively. On one side were people who insisted that bringing up Lil Tim's name again was unnecessary and messy. On the other side were people defending the comparison or saying they weren't bothered by it. Then a third group emerged, those who just wanted the drama to stop but kept participating anyway because the conversation was too chaotic to ignore. Comment sections became unpredictable. You could refresh one post and find 20 new replies, each one bringing a completely different perspective. Some were frustrated, some were emotional, some were sarcastic, and some were just confused trying to keep up with the storyline. People also started bringing in celebrities who had nothing to do with the situation, asking what they thought, tagging them, hoping for reactions. Of course, none of them responded, but fans still speculated. One user tweeted, "I bet OTF members saw this already," which sparked a whole conversation about who might be paying attention. Someone else said, "This must be annoying for Lil Tim, his name keeps coming up." Another person countered with, "He probably doesn't care." The debate about who cared and who didn't became its own full argument. Even larger commentary pages stepped in, posting long paragraphs explaining how fan culture sometimes spirals out of control. Some creators tried to calm things down by saying, "This comparison doesn't even make sense." Others leaned into the drama, making theatrical breakdowns with dramatic music playing in the background, narrating the situation as if it were a reality TV confession scene. And then one of the biggest twists dropped when a medium-sized account posted a blurred screenshot of what they claimed was a DM from someone close to the drama. The message didn't mention names. It didn't confirm anything. It simply said, "People are misunderstanding everything, but it is what it is. He's not bothered, but the team is annoyed." The internet went into detective mode immediately. Comments like, "This has to be about Lil Tim," and "Who else could they be talking about?" began flooding every corner of social media. People started zooming into the screenshot, trying to identify profile pictures, usernames, timestamps, anything that could reveal whether it was real. Some claimed it looked edited. Others said it looked real. And because both sides were equally loud, nobody had a clear answer. That uncertainty fueled the drama even further. Then TikTok creators turned the blurred DM into multi-part series videos, dragging out the mystery. They added phrases like, "Let's break this down," and "What they said here is interesting," turning the safe, vague message into a full-blown storyline. Rumor pages reposted the clips with low-key dramatic captions like, "More to the story?" and "Something feels off." By this point, the conversation wasn't even about the original comparison anymore. Fans were now arguing about whether Lil Tim knew about the debate, whether he should respond, whether the comparison was respectful, whether it was intentional, and whether the fan pages that posted it were stirring the pot for attention. Some defended Lil Tim, saying, "He hasn't said a word. The internet is doing too much." Others said, "If his name is trending, of course people will react." A few posted paragraphs about how exhausting fan culture can be when it refuses to move on from old narratives. And then came the moment that shifted everything again, a comment from a verified user. The comment wasn't specific. It didn't mention Lil Tim directly. It simply said, "This whole situation is messy for no reason." But because the user was verified, people assumed they were talking about the comparison drama. That comment was screenshotted everywhere. Pages posted it with captions like, "Even celebs think the situation is wild," even though it wasn't actually clear they were reacting to the debate at all. That small moment blew the conversation open again, proving that the internet will turn anything, even small comments, into massive chaos when the timing is right. As the night went on, the fan arguments only grew louder, messier, and more emotional. People posted dramatic messages saying, "I'm logging off," then stayed online to reply to more comments. Others wrote, "This is exactly why I hate fan debates," yet continued participating. And then there were people who didn't even know what started the drama but jumped in just to defend their favorite creator or account. But everything changed when someone made a new comparison. One that sparked an even bigger argument and shifted the entire conversation direction. And that's where part 3 begins, because the new comparison that surfaced didn't just stir the conversation. It completely flipped the tone of the entire debate. A fan made a casual comment under a viral post saying, "Honestly, if y'all were paying attention months ago, none of this would surprise you. This ain't even the first time Lil Tim's name got dragged into a conversation like this." That comment went viral instantly. Not because it said anything shocking, but because it hinted that people had been ignoring something important. Suddenly, fans started digging through old posts, old reactions, even old fan debates, trying to prove that this new comparison wasn't random. They pulled out screenshots from last year, comments from old threads, and clips of creators mentioning Lil Tim in completely different contexts. The narrative shifted again. Now people were saying this pattern had been going on for a long time. But no one agreed on what the pattern actually was. Some said it meant people always used Lil Tim's name whenever they wanted to boost attention on a topic. Others argued that anytime there's tension in the hip-hop world, someone eventually brings up his name. A few claimed fans had unresolved emotions from past discussions, and that's why his name kept resurfacing. And some insisted the whole thing was a coincidence blown out of proportion by drama pages. The confusion created a perfect environment for more speculation. One creator posted a lengthy breakdown saying, "There's a reason things like this don't die down. Certain names carry weight in discussions." They didn't mention Lil Tim directly, but the timing and tone made everyone assume that's who they meant. The creator's video lit up TikTok, with people arguing in the comments whether the creator was being honest, messy, or intentionally vague to stir up views. Then another twist came when two different creators posted videos that contradicted each other entirely. One said the comparison wasn't that deep. The other said fans were ignoring the emotional layer behind why his name triggers debates so quickly. Their followers clashed in the comments, arguing over which creator understood the situation better. It turned into creator versus creator drama without either of them even directly addressing each other. Meanwhile, fans on Twitter added fuel to the fire by tweeting things like, "People only get this emotional because of the history behind the name Lil Tim." Others tweeted, "This is overblown. Y'all just want something to fight about." The debate grew into a three-sided war. People defending him, people arguing the comparison was unnecessary, and people claiming the drama itself was the real issue. The funniest part? Many people participating didn't even know what the original comparison was anymore. The argument had shifted so many times that the root of the discussion had gotten buried under layers of misunderstandings, overreactions, and dramatized explanations. Some fans tried to bring the conversation back to the original topic, but others said it was too late. The moment had already evolved. Then came the biggest twist of the night. A rumor page posted a story saying they heard someone close to the situation wasn't happy with the ongoing comparisons. The post didn't mention Lil Tim directly, didn't name any source, and offered no context, but people immediately assumed it was about him. The rumor spread quickly, turning into a dramatic narrative about behind-the-scenes tension. People wrote things like, "If this is true, I understand," and "Honestly, I would be tired too." Even though the post was vague enough to mean anything, the internet interpreted it exactly the way it wanted to. Screenshots spread across multiple platforms, picking up thousands of comments. Some fans defended Lil Tim, saying he shouldn't have to deal with the internet dragging his name into unrelated debates. Others argued that online discussions are inevitable when someone has a big presence in hip-hop culture. Some even said the team being annoyed rumor sounded normal because fan wars never stay contained. Then suddenly, one of the biggest TikTok creators jumped into the conversation with a long video explaining how people project emotions onto situations they don't fully understand. The video included lines like, "The internet writes its own story, and half the drama isn't even real, it's just interpretation." Fans praised the video for being level-headed, but others said it felt like the creator was secretly addressing the Lil Tim situation, which reopened the debate all over again. Instagram pages reposted that video with captions like, "Creator breaks silence on fan drama," which exaggerated the situation even further. Comment sections turned into a combination of praise, criticism, confusion, and emotional venting. Some fans wrote paragraphs explaining why the comparison bothered them. Others laughed at how dramatic the situation had become. And a few begged everyone to move on, only to end up arguing anyway. In the middle of all this chaos, someone posted a theory that the entire debate resurfaced because fans were bored and needed something to argue about, and that theory went just as viral as the drama itself. People stitched it, duetted it, debated it, and questioned it. Some said it was true. Others said it was dismissive. Still others said it didn't matter why the drama started because the conversation had already become bigger than anything the original comparison intended. As the night went on, the arguments became more reflective. Some fans admitted they reacted emotionally because they remembered older discussions involving Lil Tim. Others said the comparison wasn't about him personally, it was about how the internet treats certain names. A few people brought up how social media sometimes reopens topics for no reason, stretching them until they become full-blown storylines. Even creators who stayed silent earlier in the day finally started speaking up, posting messages like, "Y'all turned this into something it never was," and "We're talking about the internet reacting to the internet." But instead of calming people down, those messages sparked more debates. Now fans were arguing about the creators' responses too. By midnight, the situation had turned from a random comparison into a massive online event. Fans had argued, explained, misunderstood, theorized, and exaggerated so much that the conversation no longer resembled the original post. But the trend kept going because social media doesn't stop when people get exhausted. It stops when people move on to something else. Hours later, some fans finally started saying, "Why did this even start?" But even those comments were met with arguments from people insisting their side had been right all along. And in the middle of all this noise, the name Lil Tim kept trending, not because he did anything, but because the internet turned one mention into a full emotional saga. A saga filled with confusion, tension, passion, and millions of reactions. And that brings us straight into the conclusion. If you're still here after everything that unfolded, then you already know this wasn't just some random online argument. Tonight showed how fast the internet can take a single name, especially a name like Lil Tim, and flip it into a full storyline, a full debate, a full emotional roller coaster without him ever saying a single word. That's the power of fan culture, the power of misunderstanding, and the power of how social media turns conversations into chaos within minutes. And whether you agreed with the comparison, disagreed with it, or were just watching the drama unfold from the sidelines, one thing is clear: people care. People react. People feel strongly. And that's why these moments get so loud so quickly. But here's the thing, none of this works without you. Your reactions, your opinions, your takes, your comments, they're what make these discussions explode across the timeline. And that's why I want to hear from you directly. What side were you on? Do you think the comparison made sense? Do you feel like fans overreacted? Or do you think certain names will always bring heavy reactions no matter what? Drop your thoughts below and let me know how you read tonight's whole situation. Before you go, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next breakdown. Social media never sleeps, and the moment something goes viral, something else is already brewing underneath it. Turn on notifications so you're locked in the second the next twist hits your screen. Because with names like Lil Tim popping back up, and the internet reacting the way it does, this story isn't slowing down anytime soon. Stay tuned, stay locked in, and stay ready, because the next chapter is already forming.